Hello Ascension Seekers. Thank you for joining us on this fundamental journey of ascension. And believe me, I know how challenging this message is. So I want to give a special thank you to those who have become subscribers to this Moore Ascension channel. You should hear our act once I see we have another subscriber, so thank you. In the last Who Are You video, our attempt was to get you to define who you are by revealing the conventional methods to define the architecture of the person. In this Who Are You video, we'll attempt to get you to define who you are by revealing the unconventional methods to define the architecture of the person. So let's get set up. Oh, and if you are back, then you likely don't have HBP, hypnotized brainwashed programming. You have HBP if you cannot definitively state in 2022 what and who you are. Hopefully you've done some initial work to know who you are by the conventional means that we presented. We affirm who we are. So who are you? What is your state of consciousness? Are you woke enough to define or redefine yourself? Are you awake, working at both physical, mental, and spiritual to improve yourself and others? Woke, begin by complaining against an issue one disagrees with and being anti-issue and doing something impactful. Asleep, likely overwhelmed and frozen in place with fear or passivity. Zombie, in full agreement and acceptance of the status quo, follows orders 100%, wants no change, willing to go backwards if asked. Or entertained, planning and enjoying the fight against the growth of light. In the prior video, we defined the question, who are you? And transformed it to who be me for a more internal perspective. We review the establishment inputs to define who you are. Moore Ascension is only interested in helping you to better understand you from an ascension perspective, which can best be done from an inside-out approach. So, what makes you who you are? Who do you see in the mirror? How do you identify yourself? As we grow, hopefully we change, gain knowledge and wisdom, and we mature. Have you defined the who you are yet? Most of us are continuously working on this one. You may define some of who you are by the unconventional methods you have decided to live by. But you do know you have decided, and that those decisions impact your reality. But were the decisions you made at the time made as a follower of the unconventional wisdom or as a leader of yourself? If as a follower, you may want to revisit those decisions. Unconventional modalities are those that can be viewed as those that are known, those that are at the beginning of the far out there ones, those that are not too far out there, the far out there ones, and the too far out there ones. In this video, we'll review the known and the beginning of the far out there methods. Some of these modalities or methods have been determined to be taboo or occult by the established order for over 1,000 years. And the word occult only means hidden. Many methods were pushed aside and people may have been told to stay far away from them by one of the establishment authorities mentioned in the prior video. Many of the following unconventional methods may not be known to newer ascension seekers. Unconventional methods. Some of these methods may be familiar and you may already have some level of knowledge, acceptance, and adoption. These methods are more metaphysically and spiritually based, and they are very, very old and will provide varying degrees of information for your acceptance or rejection, but from an ascension perspective. These unconventional methods can be used to awaken yourself. By the way, a good question would be, what or who went to sleep, if any sleeping took place at all? Or were we ever truly awakening at this level until now, for some reason? Also, the only person that can awaken you is you. Well, of course, with the assistance of your higher self. As we review these unconventional methods, ask yourself, does it stand to reason you could determine who you are partially using any of the unconventional methods we'll review in this video? The known unconventional methods. Chakras. Obviously, the 7 major chakras we reviewed are known and can assist one in understanding not only the spiritual dimension of what they are from a subtle energy body perspective, but also who they are by the frequency and polarity in which they decide to vibrate. Based on your decided frequency and vibration, unfortunately, one can get stuck at any chakra level, and many are stuck. And your chakras can give you a general assessment of who you are. Are you vibrating at the root, red chakra base, vibrating only at the level of survival or baselessness? Are you sacral, orange chakra based and just feeling your way through life? Are you solar plexus, yellow chakra based, flexing and doing things and beginning to make things happen? Are you open heart, green chakra based and compassionate about people and your activities? Or have you decided to forego using your heart chakra and for your personal reasons have decided to only take yourself into consideration? Are you throat blue chakra base, being heard and co-creating your reality? Are you third eye indigo chakra base and having lots of synchronization with people, your environment, and the universe? Are you crown violet chakra base and working the creator God spirit within you? Does it stand to reason you could determine who you are partially using this method? The following methods may need to be researched and explored to get to any level of acceptance and adoption. Some are looked upon as divination. The definition of divination by Google Oxford is the practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means. Britannica's definition of divination is the practice of determining the hidden significance or cause of events, sometimes foretelling the future by various natural, psychological, and other techniques. Found in all civilizations, both ancient and modern, it is encountered most frequently in contemporary mass society in the form of horoscopes, astrology, crystal gazing, tarot cards, and the Ouija board. Divination is taboo by many religions and can be looked upon as a sin. The challenge is that many research these methods and find what they must acknowledge are positive findings, knowledge, or truth about themselves. And hopefully many don't equate Ouija boards with astrology and these other methods. Based on my research, the history of the Ouija board is very strange. When the evidence is real for you, you may also have to drop some fear, which in many cases means false evidence appearing real. And it cuts both ways that a mind that has some experience is very difficult to change. Astrology. These later, more unconventional methods would likely be akin to some people as to how my beginnings were with astrology. Google Oxford's definition of astrology is the study of the movements and the relative positions of the celestial bodies interpreted as having an influence on human affairs in the natural world. Merriam-Webster's definition is 1. The divination of the supposed influences of the stars and the planets on human affairs and terrestrial events by their positions and aspects. Or 2. Archaic, astronomy. By the way, the definition of the word archaic means very old or old-fashioned. Astrology and astronomy were once seen as the same science, but I'm sure many of you knew that. Back in 1979, the first time someone seriously discussed astrology with me, we were in training to learn a computer programming language called COBOL. And I said that I didn't believe in astrology, but I had never researched it. My decision was basically from my church experience. Carlton, the guy I was discussing it with, said, do you have any plans for lunch? I said no. He suggested we meet at the bookstore down the street. We were in downtown Chicago at the time, so I met him at the bookstore. We proceeded to the section where the astrology books were, and he grabbed one off the shelf. He asked me a few questions: birth date, birth time, birth location. He flipped through the book as I answered these questions. He then passed me the book and he stepped away. And I read for about 2 minutes and my jaw dropped to the floor as I had proceeded to read words clearly defining who I was and how I saw myself at the time. And that was just the beginning. There was so much more than that 2 minutes worth. Most people are familiar with the 12 zodiac signs that are correlated with the various 12 constellations in the sky. We're all or most of us born under one of these constellations. Each constellation or zodiac sign has a vibration. There are 3 dominant celestial aspects of personality: the sun or your sun sign, the moon, your ascendant or rising sign. Also, one zodiac chart contains 12 houses in which 9 or so planetary bodies move. There's a relationship or aspect between all these actors or factors that enable the unique view into who you are. And each sign represents one of the 4 elements. The 4 elements are fire, earth, air, and water. Fire signs are trailblazers: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Earth signs are pragmatists: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Air signs are intellects: Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Water signs are intuitives: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And within each sign there are 3 modalities. The 3 modalities or qualities are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. These modalities represent your general operating procedures. Cardinals are natural leaders: Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Fixed qualities maintain, stabilize, and complete things: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Mutables are change agents and communicators: Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. All 3 are usually represented in a person's zodiac chart, which means that you have access to these qualities if and when you need them. In Discover Magazine's August 24, 2021 article titled, "Why Are People So Into Astrology Right Now?" several reasons are presented. 1. Stress and uncertainty. Astronomy fosters a hope in finding something that makes sense of what is going on in our seemingly chaotic world. 2. Self-discovery, to gain more clarity about themselves. And 3. Increased exposure. The increased exposure in popular culture. Astrology is being shown to have meaning by people that are respected for many reasons. You can read the article using the link in the description below. Astrology is a lifelong endeavor that can definitely help you to know thyself. Carlton and astrology began my conscious breaking of HBP, hypnotized brainwash programming, in 1979. Astrology will also be reviewed when we go to the How Are You stage. You can find this information and more free at tarot.com and astro.com, and there are many more sites where it's available. Does it stand to reason you could determine who you are partially using this method? And there are many more methods that can also assist you if needed to define who you are. The beginning of the far out there ones. Your heart or Green chakra will definitely need to be open, and for some of these, your third eye indigo brow chakra will definitely need to be open or at least cracked. These are deep subjects and will receive more focused attention in later videos. Numerology. The cousin to astrology, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many, is numerology. Dictionary.com defines numerology as the study of numbers, such as the figures in the birth date and of their supposed influence on human affairs. From WikiHow, it states, numerology is the belief that certain numbers have mystical significance in your life. The breakdown of numbers using the Pythagorean system can be used to determine matches, compatibility, and challenges between people, personalities, and much more. One's name, address, business names, and other descriptors can be enumerated and used for research and analysis. Then you can determine if there is any there. And it may take some doing to overcome predefined conventional biases, but you can do it if ascension is your intention. Your unique numbers can determine the following primary information about yourself. Life path, the path you should take for you to be happy. Soul number, what you feel inside. Personality number, how people perceive you. Power name, the strength of your name. Destiny, what first impresses people. Birthday, the way others see you. Attitude, your general attitude toward life. And much more information is available. The information above that is based on your birthday numbers does not change. The numbers that change are based on the various names of things and their variations, like changing one's name after marriage. This should definitely be researched to see if it will change your frequencies and therefore your vibrations toward one another. How would it hurt to check? Break a little HBP? I recommend Guinness McCann's book, Guinness Has Your Number, if you are interested in more numerology. The book will give you the background and show you how to calculate your numbers for determining your information. Also, numerology.com has this information online. But if you fear adding up some numbers that are unique to you and assessing possible meanings that have been around for eons, then you surely have some fear to release. Research is not acceptance or adoption. It's research. But I understand. There's a stand to reason you could determine who you are partially using this method. Heredity. Though genetics is a known method of understanding one's personality or who one is, there can be variations in one's chromosomes that can drive differences in the body complex and personality. According to Live Science's website, in their article titled Chromosomes, Facts About Our Genetic Storerooms, they state, quote, most humans have 46 chromosomes. Chromosomes are defined as thread-like structures of deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, that carry hereditary information from everything from height to eye color. They are found in the nucleus of a cell and help ensure DNA is replicated and divided evenly across cell division, according to genomics website helio.com. Chromosomes consist of a protein and a single molecule of DNA. Chromosomes make us who we are. In humans, if the number of chromosomes changes, it can lead to changes in growth and development, according to Medline Plus. When an organism is missing chromosomes or has extra chromosomes, it is known as aneuploidy. Trisomy refers to the presence of an extra chromosome in cells. An example of a condition caused by trisomy is Down syndrome. People with Down syndrome have the 3 copies of chromosome 21 instead of 2 copies. The only human cells that do not contain a pair of chromosomes are reproductive cells or gametes. Eggs and sperm cells carry just 1 copy of each chromosome, known as a haploid, so that when they unite, they become a single cell containing a pair of chromosomes. Human sex chromosomes are referred to as X and Y, and their combination determines a person's sex. Typically, human females have 2 X chromosomes, while males possess an XY pairing. This XY sex determination system is found in most mammals as well as some reptiles and plants. All of the gametes in the mother's eggs possess X chromosomes. The father's sperm contains about half X and half Y chromosomes. Sperm is the variable factor in determining the sex of the baby. If the sperm carries an X chromosome, it will combine with the egg's X chromosome to form a female zygote. If the sperm carries a Y chromosome, it will result in a male. There are, however, some variations in the number of sex chromosomes. Recently, research has found that a person can have a variety of different combinations of sex chromosomes and genes, particularly those identified as LGBT. For example, a certain X chromosome called XQ28 and a gene on chromosome 8 seem to be found in higher prevalence in men who are gay, according to a 2014 study in the journal Psychological Medicine. It is important to remember that sex and gender have 2 separate definitions, and many cultures include more labels than simply male and female to identify others, unquote. DNA will continue to increase one's ability to know who you are. Once more variations become explained by DNA, will those variations equate to God's doing. Will you have your DNA information, or will you relegate it to the medical profession? DNA is playing a critical role in healthcare and could likely play a big role in the genetic makeup of infants if things continue to progress as they are. And from AfricanAncestry.com, it states, quote, your mtDNA or mitochondrial DNA has power. It provides energy for every cell in your body. mtDNA also has a series of unique markers that tell a profound story about you and the roots of your family. African Ancestry activates the power of these roots by identifying your specific African country and ethnic group of origin. This new quote-unquote ID helps transform the way you view yourself and Africa with the simplicity, security, and care Black people deserve. And here I'll preview a bit of way out there information from the raw material that will blow your mind. And if it doesn't resonate with you, just release it. You pick your parents before you are born. And you and the family and those very close to you are very probably soul family. I know it's hard to believe, but third density is a place of only belief. Knowing is only a decision of confirming your belief. Truth is another decision step. Some companies for DNA testing are AncestryDNA.com, AfricanAncestry.com, and 23andMe.com. Does it stand to reason you could determine who you are partially using this method? You can be woke as a follower, but you are not awake as a follower. You can only be awake as a leader of yourself. Followers are woke, leaders are awake. If people are having this much trouble with people being woke, what will they do when more people are awake? What would happen if a person with HBP, hypnotized brainwash programming, defined or redefined their definition of themselves? It would begin or continue to break the hypnotized brainwash program. If not, you are asleep, at least to the wholeness of who you are. If you have HBP, hypnotized brainwash programming, there is no pill for it. All you can do is call your consciousness and do the spiritual work necessary to wake up and destroy the HBP so that you may accelerate your journey of ascension. Ascension sizes. You may want to try. Take one unconventional area of personality, even one you've already fully or partially investigated or researched, and research it again from an ascension perspective. Determine its validity and veracity, which means accuracy or conformity to facts. 2. Take another unconventional area of personality, even one you've already fully or partially investigated or researched, and research it again from an ascension perspective. Determine its validity and veracity, which means accuracy or conformity to facts. 3. Evaluate the findings of these two methods of identifying your personality. Determine whether they are complementary or contradictory. Follow with more research based on your findings, or determine some knowledge moving toward truth about yourself. Moore Ascension's goal in this Who Are You series is to provide you with enough methods to begin or continue to define yourself by exposing the architecture of the person. We are Moore Ascension.